These aliens are everywhere. Are we done?
Yes, and cut. We got
yeah,
this.
We're done. Okay.
Okay, everybody, next shot. Come on,
Okay.
chip chop. We haven't got all day. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? This is tristandeugarte. Please call me T-Cernet. That's just my screen name, tristandeugarte. And today I will be talking about what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a director when I grow up. Yes, a director, a film director. And to prove to you my great passion of wanting to be a director, I'm going to introduce you to some parts of my house that represent me showing my passion for directing. Here we are. Our first place is my desk. This is where I write my stories. And then, on my desk, I have two little friends. There are two frogs, and their names are Hitchcock and Spielberg, based off the two directors that probably changed Hollywood the most with their film. And, speaking of which, here's a second item in my house. This book. This is my director's journal, and I put all my ideas for films in it. And they might be a little silly, but yes, I never let anyone see them, and it's still kind of empty. So I always like when people leave comments below saying their new movie ideas, so I can write them in and create a story. Now, let's move on to another place. This is my costume closet. It goes up pretty high. On here, these shelves, I have props. For example, I have a scary mask, or some glasses, and bandanas, a lot of cool stuff. Along with, here on the second shelf, or the first shelf, some hats. This hat was in the Mad Hatter, and this was too. And now let's move on to the actual outfits. Here we have my closet, but I have costumes instead of clothes. There are certain people in my life that I really adore and that really help me, my friends and my family mostly. And besides them, I really like the directors in Hollywood, and I will talk about some of them. My number one favorite is Steven Spielberg, who directed a movie which I really like called E.T., which is the story about a kid that meets up with an alien that was left on planet Earth accidentally when his family was looking for plants to bring back to their planet. So they meet these two meet, and they're kind of scared of each other at first, but then they have this weird connection bond. And then E.T., the alien starts dying, and then the kid starts dying, and it's a good story. I won't ruin the ending. So check it out. And my second favorite director is James Cameron, who directed a really good movie that I saw recently called Aliens, which is it's the sequel to Alien, and it's about a group of Marines that go to this planet that have aliens on it because they've lost contact with the colony that lives on that planet, and so they go around and they investigate. I like it because it has a lot of interesting camera angles, and it has this weird cool thing with light where it's usually red, and then when there's a muzzle flare, it would like light up the screen, and it's a good movie. It's also very action-packed, and I love films like that. My third favorite director is Alfred Hitchcock, and a famous movie that he made that I really love is called Rebecca, which is the story about a girl that meets a guy who had murdered his wife. His wife was kind of a psychopath who didn't really care about anyone but herself, and so the guy got mad and killed her. And so this other girl, and this girl, who's the main character, does not know anything about this death until the very end, where she figures it out, because he's blocking doors in his house and saying, "Oh, don't go in there. That was her room. Don't go in there. Don't go in there." And yes, and three other directors that I really like are Tim Burton, who directed Edward Scissorhands, which I really like that movie because it's when you watch it, you think of Dr. Seuss, because he has this funny utopia that he makes. He creates his own worlds, and it has this component of happy, cheerful, normal, and then this little dark, imaginary idea. He also directed a well-known movie called The Nightmare Before Christmas, and a movie that recently came out called Alice in Wonderland, which happy combined with a little dark and scary. Another director that I really like is called Hayao Miyazaki. He is Japanese, and he makes anime films. Anime films are like animations, but anime is a special type of drawing. And a movie he recently made in 2008, which is probably my favorite, is called Ponyo, which is the story of a fish, and she meets up with a human, and the human and this fish kind of get along, and the fish can talk. It's very interesting. Like Tim Burton, it's not dark, but he combines this idea of imaginary beings and things, and it's really cool. And last but not least, Robert Weiss. You've probably never heard of him, but he was a director back into the 60s, 70s. And he directed some of my favorite movies, like The Sound of Music and West Side Story, which are both musicals, and they have really interesting stories. So let's move on. Let's talk about how film began. Back in 1910, 1920, a guy filmed a movie about a train coming into a station, and that was the best film ever. Supposedly at that time, it wasn't very interesting. It was only like a minute long, and the people in the audience were so amazed by it that they fainted. So then this idea moved on to this huge idea of putting story into these films, so when people watch it, they feel like they're in them, and they're witnessing this, and they have specific emotions. So, a man, whose name I have forgetting, invented this. Started this idea of film, and he made one of the first films ever, and his name would be George Méliès. Here's a little biography about him. His number one movie that he ever made was probably a movie called Les Voyages dans la Lune, which is about some people that go to the moon. And no one's been on the moon in this time, so he has this funny idea of shooting them like a gun or like a bullet up to the moon, and the moon is a person, so the bullet goes into its eye, and there's special moon people in there. And yes, if you don't know who he is, you've probably read about him without knowing it, and he's shown up in a funny kids book called The Invention of Hugo Cabret. Here he is. Supposedly, this guy had filmed something, and then there was an accident, I think, and all his tapes burned up. And with sorrow, he quit his job and left and said, I don't want anything to do with this. So he started working in a little factory where Hugo Cabret, who is this homeless child who lives in this train station in Paris, says that this man, he has this weird feeling about this man, and that he has this weird feeling about this old man. So he meets this girl, which is the goddaughter of George Méliès, and she and him go on a giant journey trying to bring back the fact of film into George Méliès' life. George Méliès isn't the main character, but I treat him like the main character. The main character is actually Hugo Cabret, and it's a really good book. You should read it. And if you don't have time to read, a movie's coming out this summer, I think, and it's called Hugo. And yes, I'm not quite excited to see that because it doesn't look good. But another film that's coming out that I'm really excited to see is a film based off one of my favorite comics, Tintin. Now, Tintin, all the stories are connected. This was a book that was originally written in French, and then it was translated into many languages. It's about a reporter and a sea captain, and the reporter's little white dog, and they all go on adventures trying to find or solve their mysteries. Now, they usually get caught up in trouble with these bad people, as you can see on the cover. Yes. And so there might be violence, they might be beat up, they might be held as hostage, but it's a really good story. And Tintin never dies, so don't worry. Even though he's close to dying, people want to kill him, he never dies. And Steven Spielberg is actually making this film, and it's coming out in December. So I want to know what you guys think about that. I'm pretty excited to see it, unlike maybe other people. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yes. The Red Balloon, my film, isn't out yet. The reason is because I had this idea last week, and I was going to film it, but I ran out of time. And this week I also ran out of time, so it's not going to come out till maybe next week. So, The Red Balloon is coming out this Thanksgiving, along with Dooney Wizard's production, The End. Which, you've probably heard about him saying, oh, the end is coming, it is coming. Now it is coming, and I am helping direct it, so it will be awesome. Although, since he came up with the idea, I cannot post it on my channel. I can mention it, but I can't post it. Yes. So, the new idea that I have is a Matrix/Alien parody. Urban Assailant posted on my channel, my main channel, that he wanted a film about, like, 2012, the end of the world, and that it was going to end, someone needs to survive, kind of like Z. So I got that idea, and I thought, well, how about we combined it with Alien's survival theme and the Matrix's awesome scenes. So, that's what I did. Now, to finish up this video, I need to mention that I need you guys to subscribe. So I will see you next weekend, or this weekend. Yes, I will see you this weekend coming up. Goodbye!